Hello my friends, my name is Dr. Siddharth Kaur and I welcome you back to my channel Ideas to Serve. Friends, in my last video I gave you an introduction to stories and storytelling, and I also told you the importance of storytelling. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the first element that makes up a story, and that is the hero. Let me start by telling you that you are not the hero. Your customers are the heroes. In fact, nobody cares about your brand or your company's story. There has to be something about a brand or a person that can help the other person or their audiences or their customers to win. People usually are not looking for another hero because they themselves are the hero of their stories. And they are looking for a different character in the story. And that character is almost 2000 years old, right from the age of Aristotle. And that character is called the guide. To give you an example, Luke Skywalker is the hero, Yoda is the guide. James Bond is the hero, Q is the guide. Bahubali is the hero, Katappa is the guide. The purpose of the guide is to help the hero win the day. So the hero is actually looking for a guide and not for another hero. So when you position yourself as the hero in the story, you're subconsciously competing with the people who you're trying to engage with. So if you remember my last video, I gave you an example of how you go to a cocktail party and you meet up with a person called as John Doe and you ask him what does he do, and he gives you a long story about his grandfather starting a company 75 years back and he being into manufacturing of electrical products and blah 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 blah. What happened in that case? Why did you distance yourself from that conversation? The reason being, you feel that you are the hero of your story. John Doe is the hero of his story. So subconsciously, you start competing with one another. And when you compete, you naturally tend to separate yourself or distance yourself from your potential clients or audience. So the point is, you should not separate yourself from your customers. And the second reason is, always remember that the hero is a weak character. They are ill-equipped, they're filled with self-doubt, and they're usually nervous of accepting the challenge in front of them. That is not who you want to be as a brand. You want to be a strong character, and the strongest character in any story is the guide. Let me explain this point to you by an example. There were certain war heroes who participated in the US presidential elections at different points of time, like Bob Dole, John Kerry, John McCain. And the common thing between them was they all lost the election. And to whom did they lose? They lost to people who had hardly or no military or war background. They were not war heroes. So it is not that we do not love or honor our heroes. We absolutely love them. But when it comes to a brand to buy from or a leader to follow, we would like to choose a much more stronger character than the hero, and that stronger character is the guide. This is because we as human beings are always trying to survive and thrive, and we would like to take the support of somebody who's already overcome his demons, been there and done that, and can show you the right path forward. So the idea is, you should always aspire to be the guide and enter into the story of your hero, which is your customer or your audience, rather than telling your own story. So when you make that switch of not telling your own story but entering into the story of your audience, your potential customers, and reflect the same in all your marketing collaterals, in your speeches, on your website, etc., your audience knows that you are the right person or the right company that they have always been looking for. And then they open themselves to you. Let me share a very interesting story with you of one of my favorite companies, which is Apple. In 1983, Steve Jobs was working on a new computer called as Lisa, named after his daughter. The product release had a 9-page technical document which talked about the features and functions of this new computer. Unsurprisingly, it failed. After leaving Apple, Steve Jobs sold his stocks and founded a company called as Next, and then heavily invested in a hardware company called as Pixar. Yes, Pixar, the movie studio that we all know of. But that at point of time, it was not a movie studio. It was basically a hardware company that sold machinery to medical community for image scanning as well as to NASA. It had a few employees and one of them was John Lasseter. And one day, do you know the mouthwash company Listerine? They came to Pixar and spoke to John and asked them whether it was possible for them to make use of these hardware equipments and produce a 30-second commercial on their new mouthwash. John Lasseter said yes. He made the commercial was a super hit and he made a lot of money. Steve Jobs was happy and he asked John Lasseter to continue making more cartoons, animations and commercials. Until one day, Disney came to Pixar and said, "Will it be possible for you to make a whole major motion picture if we gave you the script?" And John Lasseter said yes. And thus was born Toy Story. Yes, Toy Story. It made over $100 million. And at that point of time, Steve Jobs was surrounded by some of the best storytellers from around the world. He understood the key concepts of storytelling, like keeping it really simple, leaving all his good ideas on the table because it is very difficult for people to process so many good ideas at the same time, having a climatic ending, and to help people to transform their identities. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple from Pixar, he was armed and equipped with new ways of storytelling. So that 9-page technical document which he had created several years back just became a 2-word motto, which was think different. He featured absolutely no computers in his advertising. He sold an identity. You see yourself as a misfit, but Apple sees you as a genius. We can give you the tools so that you can be heard. Here is an Apple computer so that you can be heard. By focusing on their customers rather than their product, Apple was able to engage with their customers in a whole new way by only talking about things that were relevant to them. He was able to invite his customers into a story that would transform their lives. This simple change from a 9-page technical documentation to a 2-word motto helped Apple win several customers and become one of the topmost companies in the world. In my next video, I'll be talking to you about the second element that makes up a story, and that is the problem. Please do not forget to like and share my video and also to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll see you soon. Bye.